Worried, super worried. Call the troops all in a hurry. This is what we've waited for. This is it, boys. This is war. The president is on the line. As 99 red balloons go by. 99 nights of the air. Ray super high-tech jet fighters. Everyone's a superhero. And everyone's a Captain Kirk. With others to identify, to clarify and classify, scramble in the summer sky. As 99 red balloons go. 99 dreams I have had, and everyone a red balloon. It's all over and I'm standing pretty in this dust that was a city. If I could find a souvenir just to prove the world was here. And here is a red balloon. I think of you and let it go.
When you were here before, could look in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep, and I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want. You're so very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. don't belong here.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. There is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the one I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why he had to go, I don't know. He wouldn't say. I something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Why he had to go, I don't know. He wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
Vayan tomando asiento, por favor. El evento comenzará en 5 minutos.
Taking away the moments that make up a dark day. You frittered and waste the hours in an offhand way. Kicking around on a piece of crown in your hometown. Waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Tired of flying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. You are young and life is long, and there is time to kill today. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. And you run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking. And racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older. Shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Every year is getting shorter. Never seem to find the time. Plans that either come to naught or have a page of scribbled lines hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way. The time is gone, the song is over. Thought I had something more to say. can. And when I come home cold and tired, it's good to warm my bones beside a fire. Far away across the field, the tolling of the iron bell calls the faithful to their knees to hear the softly spoken magic spell.
There's a rat in my kitchen, what am I gonna do? There's a rat in my kitchen, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna fix that rat, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fix that rat. When you open that mouth, you don't talk, you shout, and you give everybody the blame. But when they catch you up, they will shut you up, and you got no one to blame. When you're out in the street, you practice lies and deceit, and you scandalize my name. But when I catch you up, I'm gonna pull you up, I'm gonna check out inside your brain. There's a rat in my kitchen, what am I gonna do? There's a rat in my kitchen, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna fix that rat, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fix that rat. When you tap on the scene, you make everyone scream, 'cause they know you're so unjust. But when they catch you up, they will kick you up, 'cause you're someone they cannot trust. You invade my space, make me feel disgraced, and you just don't give a damn. If I had my way, if I had my say, I'd like to see you have.
Estoy, sí. Por favor, vayan tomando asiento.
Could you please take your seats? We're going to start shortly.
Gonna fix that rat. Here come a flat up, he come, grooving up slowly. He got juju eyeball, he won't holy folder. He got hair down to his knee, got to be a joker, he just do what he please. He wear no shoes and he got toes and football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he say, I know you, you know me. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me. He back protection, he got walrus gambut, he got on a sideboard, he won't spine a blocker, he got feet down below his knee. Hold you in his armchair, you can feel his disease. Come together right now over me.
El evento está a punto de comenzar.
We're about to start. Please take your seats.
One is three. Got to be good looking cause he's so hard to see. Come together right now over me. The deal, the deal, the deal, deal, down the over me. When expectations make no sense, when every answer's wrong, you're fighting with lost confidence, all expectations gone. The time has come to make or break. Move on, don't hesitate. Break out, don't stop to ask. Now you've found a break to make it last. You've got to find a way, so what you want to say, break out. When situations never change, tomorrow looks unsure. Don't leave your destiny to chance. What are you waiting for? The time has come to make or break. Break out, don't stop to ask. Now you've found a break to make it last. You've got to find a way, say what you want to say. Break out, don't stop to ask. Now you've found a break to make it last. You've got to find a way, say what you want to say. Break out. Some people stop at
comenzamos en un minuto. Tomen asiento.
We'll be starting in 1 minute. Please take your seats.
You've got to find a way, say what you want to say, break out. Don't stop to ask. Now you've found a break to make it last. You've got to find a way, say what you want to say, break out. Don't stop to ask. Now you found a break to make it last. You've got to find a way, say what you want to say, break out. So much for your promises. They die the day you let me go.
Entramos en directo en 5.
We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me at the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your ship bare. See how I live with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I would do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me at the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all. Rolling in the deep, you have my heart inside of your hand, and you played it to the beat. Baby, I have no story to be told, but I heard one of you, and I'm gonna make your head burn. Think of me in the depths of your despair, making a home down there, and it's mine, you won't be shared. So the scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all. Rolling in the deep, you have my heart inside of your hand, but you played it, you played it, you played it, you played it with the beat. Con todos ustedes, Mónica Carrillo y Mónica.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to this very special day. Welcome to Future Health, the event. Thank you all very much for being with us at this third edition of the Sanitas meeting on future health. Thank you to you all here, and thank you to you who are with us by streaming in elmundo.es. Today we're going to discover all the new things that innovation and digitalization offer to health management. But first, I'm told that we have some news. A new way of taking care of yourself has arrived in our country thanks to Sanitas. Preventive medicine that saves lives through anticipation. It is the largest European genomic sequencing project to prevent diseases, and no less than 100,000 people will be sequenced between this year and the next one by Sanitas.
Desconocerlo y actuar con Mi Salud Genómica. Analizaremos tu genoma para cuidar de ti de una forma precisa y personalizada. También conoceremos qué fármacos funcionan mejor en ti. Y analizaremos aquellos genes con información sobre nutrición y ejercicio para ayudarte a estar mejor. Para actuar juntos desde la prevención y evitar posibles riesgos con un plan personalizado de salud que tendrá seguro un impacto positivo en tu bienestar. Te ofrecemos la máxima expresión de la medicina del futuro. Preventiva, personalizada, precisa, predictiva y participativa. Un enfoque transformador que solo Sanitas puede ofrecerte. Bienvenido al primer día de tu mejor futuro.
We were saying that 100,000 people will be sequenced and offered personalized health plans. Sanitas professionals will give you the genetic information that determines which health problems you are likely to develop. But this goes together with a personalized plan that tells you what to do to prevent or treat these pathologies. From the analysis of an estimated 25,000 genes that we have, the company is already extracting very relevant scientific information. But who better to tell us all the details of this program that has come to change the way medicine is practiced than the medical director of Sanitas and Bupa Europe and Latin America, César Morcillo. César, welcome. Yes, César. Well, thank you for being with us in this very special morning, but please tell us, what is this revolution about? Well, good morning, Monica. As you were saying, genomics is already transforming in Sanitas today the way we prevent, manage, and cure diseases. According to our results, 4% of people have a high probability of developing a serious disease in their lifetime, such as cancer or some heart diseases. And 17% have a genetic variant that means that they're more likely to develop a relevant pathology, such as diabetes or hypercholesterolemia. 85% of people will provide advice on how to adapt their lifestyle for better health. Very important information to anticipate the disease, improving the possibilities of curing those diseases. In addition, data that we have seen from sequencing more than 6,000 people is that all of us, 100%, have some genetic variants that are going to affect the functioning of some drugs. And 20% of these will have severe interactions that will cause severe effects, even death. It is therefore not surprising that 5% of hospital admissions are due to drug reactions. Drug reactions, admissions that could have been easily avoided with this information. So pharmacogenomics undoubtedly will allow us to make a much safe medicine preventing severe effects. We will ask ourselves shortly how we doctors were daring to prescribe drugs without knowing this information. So this program is going to provide very useful information to prevent those diseases and personalize the treatments. But how is all this working? What we're really doing is sequencing the human genome, and we're going to look to more than 20,000 genes that each of us have, but then we will only analyze 3%. Why 3%? Because those genes are the ones that codify the so-called actionally diseases, the ones that can be prevented and treated. So we will only analyze those diseases that can be prevented or that can have a treatment, because that is our aim, to anticipate ourselves to the disease. And how is this process going to be for the patient? Once we have those results, the doctor will get in touch with the patient and explain 3 elements. First, if they have these variant genetics that will lead to this disease. And in this case, we have a plan by our specialist doctors that will indicate what are the tests that have to be taken to manage this risk. Second aspect is the development of personalized lifestyle plan with a genomic preventive program consisting of nutrition plans and the physical activity adapted to the genetic information and health needs of each patient. And finally, the patient will receive a pharmacogenetics report so that all our doctors will always have this valuable information available when they need to prescribe a drug. Throughout the entire proceeding, the patient is accompanied by a genetic counselor and a Sanitas medical team specialized in the corresponding pathologies. So, Monica, in answer to your first question, of course, genomics is already transforming medicine at Sanitas today. Thank you very much, Cesar, for your explanation. It is now much more clear to us how much genomics can impact diseases, but it is not the only field in medicine. And to know other medical possibilities, we're going to offer a panel of international experts, and our first guest is joining us from London, Sir Mark Caulfield, British expert and director of the genome sequencing program of the NHS, the British National Health System. We will say hello to him straight away once our colleagues get everything ready on the stage. And we have other guests that I'm going to ask to join us. We have Dr. Adrián Llorena, a doctor and professor specialized in pharmacogenetics and clinical pharmacology. Good morning. He's currently director of the Institute of Biosanitary Research of Extremadura, INUBE, and of the Clinical Research Center of the University Hospital of Badajoz. Thank you for being with us. We also have Javier Suela. He's an expert in genetics and director of public health in Sanitas, and César Morcillo, who's health director at Sanitas Ambupa, who's here with us, who came from the future. Once we have our guest, Mr. Caulfield, but we're going to start with you.
Está.
You're here with us. And he can hear us. According to the data, 4% of the population has a very important risk of suffering important diseases. But how can genome help preventing these diseases? Well, I believe we're going to change the destiny of these people. We're probably going to save their lives. And as you were saying before, this is about probabilities. It is about figures, numbers. We have like 400 people here So 4%, 16 of you have in your genes already written that you're going to develop a severe disease, cancer, arrhythmias, problems, heart diseases. And we will be able to accompany you throughout the time and be there with you. And if at any time that disease happens, we will be able to accompany you and save your life. So I believe it is a possibility of changing the destiny of 16 people of you. To change the destiny of 4% of our patients is enough to justify this effort and this project. So here, of course, the important knowledge is to be able to know how to confront the disease and anticipate ourselves. Javier Suela, what is the main difference of the traditional genetics to genomics applied to preventive medicine? While traditional genetics has been used to try to look to the genetic cause of our pathology that we already see. We see a child who has a genetic syndrome. We have pregnancy with a risk, or a person who has a high risk of developing cancer, and geneticists have tried to look for the explanation. And preventive genetics wants to anticipate the pathology. We don't have a patient that has a well-known risk. He has no symptoms. What we want to try to prevent the pathology before it starts, try to help them before. For us, it is a change of paradigm, because we have commonly worked with a person who already had a condition. So it is a very interesting change. Anticipate ourselves to the future. Mr. Sal Caulfield, thank you very much. I have a question for you.
Key steps in ensuring equitable access to genomics in healthcare systems?
So I hope you can hear me there, and good morning to everybody there. It is possible now to create an equitable access to genomics across the country. That can be done by actually opening a new test directory, which you distribute across the country. And you set the genetics that you will test nationally, but then in some areas it will need to be regionally implemented. So in the UK NHS, we have a national test directory. To do that, we examined 300,000 genomic tests, upgraded 25% to new technologies, and clinicians in our health system can organise 500,000 genomes from direct healthcare. And to date, since 2021, 100,000 whole genomes have been sequenced in direct healthcare in our National Health Service for patients with rare disease, cancer and infection.
Doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Llorenas, an expert in the application of genomics to pharmacological treatments. What barriers prevent pharmacogenetics from being routinely integrated into daily medical prescription? Well, thank you very much. I want to make clear that I don't have any personal professional relationship with Sanitas and all my opinions, even if I'm an expert of the European agency and I work for the ministry. My opinions are personal. I'm saying these up front because it is a great pleasure to be here in this event, and I'm very surprised by this initiative of Sanitas, which complements very well the initiative of the Spanish healthcare system. It is the first in the EU that has standardized the implementation of genomics research. Spain, under the national health system, has decided to have a basic genome package for all the population. And the Spanish drug agency is the only one in the world that has a database, a public database, and each person can look to what gene is obligatory to be looked to before prescribing a drug. And we will say in some areas, how are we providing a drug that can be very severe without any consultation based on the genomics and having the information? So the first barrier is the knowledge. We have nowadays standardized all these. We are the first country, and I believe this we must know in order to have a quarterly prevention program. What is this? Fourthly, prevention, to prevent damaging when you're trying to do some good. We must look to the new conditions, and thanks to the progress we have. We have the first universal implementation with the pilot project in Extremadura. We have the first data we have just finished after 4 years, and the number of patients that have drug-related problems is 25%. So this is a drug that can cause a serious problem. And how many people have used the health system? 26%. So it is not admissible that having the tools that in part, not fully, in medication there are many things we don't know, but that in partly can prevent this, not to use it. And secondly, if we look at it from the selfish perspective, only to maintain properly a healthcare system, we are obliged to do it because we have to be on top of things that we can prevent. So all the population should be aware of this. That is really hidden. There is a consensus that we don't want to see that the first non-natural cause of death in the world is suicide. What have we done so that young people don't want to leave? Some problem comes from the drug. We have suicide program, statins, lipids, the cardiovascular food. Who doesn't know someone who's taking statins that don't have a muscular pain? Who doesn't know anyone who's taking an antidepressant or who's taking a statin, who has had some cancer-related drug? How many people have been advised on the treatment where genomics is a tool? Probably none of them. So the decision in our country that our private companies complemented the action of the public health, to me, I have to say, as a Spanish citizen, I congratulate he who has decided to undertake this new action, because I believe it complements very well what we have been doing, generally speaking, as a society. The WHO has reviewed in the last 40 years how the drug effect has been looked at. It has been tripled. We are concerned about the pollution by gasoline, but the only way of stopping this is using personalized tools.
If you'll allow me to add something, when you were talking about which was the challenge, which is to make professionals aware of this information, I think that we, this very when we started this project, this one was the first things that we decided to cover. We felt that this information was terribly valuable, but we also had to make sure that it has to be applicable. It can't be left and forgotten behind. So that's what we've done. We've included this information in the electronic medical record, in the prescription system, electronic prescription system. So when we are prescribing as physicians atorvastatin or that ibuprofen, an alert will arise and they'll say, no, it's probably better that you give him paracetamol. But we also have a pharmacogenomic ID card in the Sanitas app so that people can share this valuable information, and why not with their family physician. And let me add something, that I think we have to be extremely careful because we've got an overstressed healthcare system, professionals that are working very hard, and we're asking them to work more and with responsibility. And you've got to do it in a very sensitive way and carefully, because the situation is already complex in itself, and the population needs to understand that to create a paradigm shift in a society with 50 million people takes time. So we need to include new concepts. We need to include a new way of doing things, and at the same time, we also need to make an understanding effort, because in the end, there's going to be a time when something's going to happen, and everything's going to depend on the patient's relationship with him or herself and everything else. But there is something that we can avoid, and it's not ethical not to do it. Yes, we're talking about liability and responsibility. You've got to be careful with professionals, because we're adding responsibility what they're doing in a system that is already overstressed. So we have the challenges of professionals. Physicians are once again being asked to work harder to take over the responsibility, but society has got to be visible for society. So citizens as patients, because we all are or will be patients, should know which are our rights, and we should also know which are our possibilities to anticipate them. And we said this yesterday when we were talking with Dr. Yeren about this. It's going to be like pharmacogenetics or like having treatments like these and saying you go for a blood transfusion as if they didn't look at the type of blood you're going to be given. This seems ridiculous because this wasn't done in the past, but today with medicine the same thing is going to happen, isn't it? So in any event, we have a learning curve, and that's what we're here for both professionals and citizens to have a greater knowledge of everything. So Cesar, tell me, how are things going to change? How do we expect genomics to change in clinical medical practice? Well, it's going to change ever so much. I think we've talked a lot about pharmacogenomics. This is going to be the first step. It's going to be a safer, more precise medicine. But above all, I think it's going to change the way that we are doing health, so to speak. And I'm saying health and not medicine because we're going to focus much more on prevention. And instead of offering the same solution to everybody, the same prevention plan that like we're doing today to everybody, so you're 50, you've got to check your PSA, colonoscopy. Thanks to what I know that you have in your genes, I'm going to be able to provide you a completely different process. I'm going to be able to adapt all the care flows to your situation and offer you a unique experience. So Javier, in the lab you are carrying out the Bupa genome study and the parent company worldwide, but is Spain a leader in this discipline? Yes, indeed. I would say that this project, like you've said before, is probably the largest private project that's being carried out, as well as carried out at any level in Spain, and in Europe and even worldwide. So we're talking about more than 100,000 people who have been sequenced in a very short period of time, and has been done very carefully because, like Cesar said, we have sequenced everything, but we're not going to give untested risks or problems. So I think it's a pioneering project, and I think that we're going to do a lot for forwarding our aims.
Main ethical and technical challenges in scaling genomic medicine at the population level?
So I think there are many different dimensions to this. First thing is to involve public and patients from the outset and get them inside the program involved in thinking strategy and addressing challenges. And then they grow the success of the program. But what we found when we started in the 100,000 Genomes project was that it was suggested that we were opportunistically screening people. I think the world has moved on. If I tell you public and patients research across a random selection of almost 2,000 UK citizens shows that 76% of them want to know how their genetic makeup might change their susceptibility to harm from medicines or make them ineffective. And about the same amount want to know about any clinical diagnosis that could be made from their genome. And then a similar percentage are keen to know whether they may have inherited a predisposition to a disease that they don't yet know. So in terms of the UK population, public interest in this and desire to see it has overcome objections to things like opportunistic screening. Because, of course, if you're reading the whole of your My Genetic Makeup, you may well find things you don't expect. Importantly, what you're talking about doing in Spain is giving back only information that's about known things that we can make a difference to. And in particular, your program in pharmacogenomics is amongst the most advanced, if not the most advanced, in the world. And if I tell you that in 76,000 whole genomes, we discovered 99.5% of people had at least one gene-drug pair, where if they came across the medicine, it would either cause harm or possibly be ineffective. And you asked me also about technological challenges. There are challenges to doing these large-scale projects, but it is not beyond us. That we have grasped the technology. Doing the sequencing is not the problem and the challenge. Analyzing the data remains a challenge, but you can only solve that challenge if you actually do the program and grasp the technological challenge of analysis. And we will improve that together. and innovate and create new methods of returning this information in a way that is not so intensive for the clinicians who are directly facing the patients.
Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you. Dr. Elena,
Dr. Yeren, I know that you have a very long background in this topic, and it's going to be difficult for you to remember a clinical case where you say it was really worthwhile. It's extremely useful to have this technology available, when I would have liked to have sent you an angel from the past with a revelation. But in a medicine, you have to put across in the right form on the checklist, when this happens, you prescribe this and this is solved. But when you start as a young doctor and you find what happens in real life, that sometimes this happens and not, so you say, what have I done, wasting my life studying? So you've got to learn at that stage. Been doing pharmacogenetics since 1986, asking myself the following question: can we at least avoid damaging? Can we do something, provide solutions? Because we know that disease exists and there are things that we can't cover, but the important thing is not to do harm. And in 1986, we were studying psychiatric patients and deaths due to heart arrest. So if a schizophrenic patient died in a mental hospital in those days, was because they were being parked there. Pharmacology has allowed us to integrate them in society today, but in the past, I'm not going to use a word that may sound too strong, but and a taboo word, but many of them died due to heart arrest because they were enclosed. So we carried out our first phenotyping study, and we realized that part of these patients had a pathway that was altered. They weren't excreting the drug, and when it was measured in blood, a metabolite was created that explained the death due to heart arrest. So we said, oh my God, well, this has to be measured, because it's got to be measured. It's about measuring. So what can we do? Well, maybe 20% of the patients can benefit from these studies, and with the other remaining 80%, we will work in the future. And when I was working at UCLA in a program of pharmacogenomics in the field of mental health, we studied the Afro-American population because they asked us to have drugs adapted to them, because genomics can not only be for Caucasians, because we see how the society has evolved differently, and all the information we have is of Caucasians. And the Mexican Americans said in those days, well, what's going to happen with us? So I ended up, I'd never thought about this in the past, In Sweden, we were working with Chinese population. We saw that the Mexican American population, 7 million Latinos in Spain, have a wide genome. In a greater part comes from Extremadura, but they also have native genomic design. So we have to take this into account. So we can't only work with only part of the population and disseminate this information throughout humankind, thinking that all the population in the world is going to respond in the same way. So we started studying the Mexican American population in Los Angeles, and we continued studying all of Latin America since 1986, seeing that there's variability, making sure that if these tests, if you vary a series of variables in them, they can be adapted to the Afro-American people in the Dominican Republic. But if you don't include African elements in them, you're going to lose 20% of predictability. So when we talk about Hispanity, we need to share scientific progress, adapting it to ethnicity so that it is equitable in Spain and solidarian with the world. And that should be our prospects when we're working in this area. Yes, because ethnically we're all very different. And we've also said that you've got to think that the patient comes to you as a global entity, that you don't have a disease in front of you. You have an oncological patient with breast cancer in front of you, and you're not only treating breast cancer, you're also thinking of the different drugs that she's taking. So you have to think how the chemo is covering, but how they collide with the painkillers and other drugs. So you don't only need the expertise of the genomic map, but you also need to know what you have to do in each case. Hyper-specialization is in fact leading us to this problem. And we've said that precision medicine for breast cancer is fabulous, but we also get to think about women who have breast cancer, the woman who needs it, who needs an antidepressant, a painkiller, and an antiemetic. And depending on the drug you choose, it can alter the effect of the anti-neoplastic drug, but also her mood is going to depend on the severity level, so we're always going to need a professional who, depending on the personal situation of the patient and health situation of the patient, will include the genetic approach. Genetics is just going to be an extra tool that we have. We've always got to think about the patient. We don't have to think about each and every one of the diseases or each and every one of the drugs that are being prescribed, ignoring everything else that's being taken by the patient. That takes us to the next stage. Customization, personalization of treatments, introducing genomics and all the other elements. Well, we have so many challenges ahead of us. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences with us. We've got a huge round of applause.
Continuamos con la mañana intensa.
And we're going to continue with a very intensive morning.
Decías, Mónica.
So, Monica, you were saying that the genomic revolution has arrived to change medicine. Much more precise medical technology and practice, which will provide professionals with more and better resources to be able to propose better diagnoses and treatments, and therefore a more personalized medicine that will make it easier to prevent and predict. And all medical innovation is always trying to improve the quality of life of people and anticipate ourselves to diseases. Genomics today is already improving the implementation and adjustment of medical treatments, something that all patients are going to benefit from.
¿Genoma está revolucionando la medicina?
Bienvenidos a la era de la genómica. Gracias a esta ciencia estamos transformando ya la vida y la salud de las personas.
La genómica es el estudio de nuestros genes, el conjunto de instrucciones que determinan cómo somos y cómo funcionamos. Al secuenciar nuestro genoma, obtenemos una enorme cantidad de datos que nos permiten anticiparnos a enfermedades y personalizar la atención médica como nunca antes.
En Sanitas ya hemos empezado a hacerlo. Hemos secuenciado el genoma de más de 7.000 pacientes y planeamos llegar hasta 100.000 personas en 2026. Los resultados hasta este momento son reveladores. El 17% de las personas analizadas presentan variantes genéticas que aumentan el riesgo de desarrollar enfermedades, algunas tan graves como el cáncer.
Datos que en manos de los médicos significan poder anticiparnos, poder actuar antes de que las enfermedades se manifiesten, poder ofrecer a cada cliente la mejor medicina para su caso personal, por ser quienes son y por sus características personales.
Pero las aplicaciones de la genómica no acaban ahí. Por ejemplo, podemos conocer el riesgo que tienen los progenitores de transmitir enfermedades genéticas y ofrecerles la oportunidad de planificar su futuro familiar con mayor seguridad.
En mi campo, la endocrinología, la genómica nos permite identificar a portadores de enfermedades hereditarias y trazar planes familiares para su detección temprana. En este tiempo hemos visto ya más de 10 casos de este tipo. Dejadme que os ponga un ejemplo. Mujer de 40 años que presenta una variante genética en el gen del receptor de LDL, que implica que eso que familiarmente solemos llamar el colesterol malo tenga unos niveles más altos de lo normal. Esto se transmite genéticamente, así que utilizando estos datos podemos ser proactivos y asesorar a sus familiares para iniciar el tratamiento preventivo lo antes posible y reducir el riesgo cardiovascular del grupo familiar. Literalmente, proveemos la plataforma para vidas más largas y sanas. Este tipo de intervenciones preventivas son claves para ello.
Estas no son las únicas ventajas de la genómica. Dejadme que os hable de la farmacogenómica. La misma dosis de un medicamento puede tener efectos muy distintos en personas diferentes. Todos tenemos variantes genéticas que condicionan cómo metabolizamos los fármacos.
La farmacogenómica nos permite conocerlas de antemano y personalizar los tratamientos. Esto supone un avance radical. Hay una estadística muy interesante y poco conocida. El 5% de los ingresos hospitalarios se deben a reacciones adversas a medicamentos. Con los análisis de farmacogenómica reducimos de manera muy significativa este problema, porque antes de prescribir, el profesional tiene una red de seguridad que le informa de las posibles reacciones adversas a determinados fármacos. Además, con Mi Salud Genómica disponemos de mucha información para ayudar a mejorar los hábitos de vida de nuestros pacientes, algo fundamental para especialidades como la endocrinología. Ahora mis pacientes tienen información personalizada de qué hábitos deportivos o de nutrición les favorecen más.
9 de cada 10 personas secuenciadas han recibido información importante en este sentido, permitiendo optimizar su manejo clínico. Como veis, estamos asistiendo en directo y en primera fila al nacimiento de la medicina del futuro, preventiva, precisa y totalmente personalizada, basada en datos y evidencias, porque nuestro proyecto de Mi Salud Genómica ha sido cuidadosamente diseñado para recoger las mejores evidencias científicas y ponerlas al servicio de nuestros médicos y de nuestros pacientes.
En la que cada persona disfrutará de un plan de salud personalizado adaptado a sus propios genes.
Esto es la genómica, el futuro de la salud que ya está marcando la diferencia en las vidas de miles de pacientes.
Seguimos avanzando por el futuro de la salud, que pasa siempre por la innovación, y que hay más innovador que la inteligencia artificial, ¿verdad? Los distintos usos de la inteligencia artificial. Si hay un área en la que existe un consenso social sobre los beneficios de este tipo de tecnología, es en el área de la salud. ¿Y cómo aplica Sanitas la inteligencia artificial para mejorar la vida de las personas y para complementar el trabajo de los médicos? Nos lo va a contar Bea Benayas.
Hemos venido al corazón de Sanitas para contar los últimos avances logrados gracias a la inteligencia artificial en la compañía. Hace 3 años que desde aquí se pone cada día el progreso de la IA al servicio del paciente. El resultado está dando una atención más cómoda, eficaz y accesible y una mayor precisión en los tratamientos. Empezamos hablando de la inteligencia artificial propia de Sanitas, Sania, que está evolucionando para convertirse en el asistente virtual de salud más avanzado del mundo y supone la mayor transformación de la experiencia de cliente dentro de una compañía de salud. Sania está desarrollada completamente in-house. Es un motor cognitivo multipropósito, multicanal, integrado con todas las unidades de negocio de la compañía, que, por ejemplo, ha permitido transformar completamente el proceso de citación. Un dato, hoy ya más de 300.000 pacientes es más que el comienzo. Otro ejemplo de progreso es Sanitas, que permite redefinir la experiencia tanto de médicos como de pacientes. Sania se ocupará de transcribir la consulta médica en segundo plano, asegurando siempre la calidad del dato y la recogida exhaustiva de información. Con esto, la tecnología ayuda a que la conexión humana esté en el centro de la atención sanitaria. Sanitas, que es un gran ejemplo de cómo la inteligencia artificial es clave para que los pacientes de Sanitas sientan más cerca a sus médicos. No solo eso, también es fundamental para lograr diagnósticos más precisos y tratamientos más personalizados. Ejemplo de ello es que ya la IA está mejorando el diagnóstico en la gran mayoría de pruebas de radiología. Gracias a la aplicación de una capa de inteligencia artificial, está mejorando la capacidad de detección de tumores en radiografía de tórax o mamografías en estadios muy primarios, ya que la compañía está desarrollando un sistema que analiza y califica automáticamente los nódulos cancerosos de mama. La IA ya está salvando vidas en Sanitas. Es también la inteligencia artificial la que asiste a los dermatólogos en el diagnóstico de lesiones dermatológicas mediante el análisis de imágenes médicas. Y además, también a través de Sania, la IA está ayudando a los médicos de Sanitas a ser más rápidos y ágiles, tanto en el diagnóstico como a la hora de ofrecer tratamientos personalizados. Hasta aquí nuestro repaso a la actualidad de la inteligencia artificial en Sanitas. Esto han sido solo unos cuantos ejemplos. Hay más iniciativas en marcha que están teniendo un impacto directo en la experiencia de los pacientes y que os seguiremos contando. La IA permite a Sanitas llegar más lejos, más rápido y de forma más precisa al lado de los pacientes.
Gracias, Bea.
Thank you, Bea. It is clear that AI is certainly changing the reality of medicine, but innovation in Sanitas does not stay here. So I'm going to ask José Luis Ruiz, Chief Information Officer of Sanitas and Bupaela, who's going to explain how does Sanitas use technology and the role it plays in the health of the patients.
¿Podemos transformar el cuidado de la salud?
Can we transform healthcare without transforming our technology? In Sanitas, it is very clear for us. It is a fundamental lever for change, and that is why we have created our own ecosystem, creating in-house solutions and using the best third-party solutions, the best of both worlds, to get the best experience for our patients, but also for our health professionals, because in Sanitas and Bupa, Europe and Latin America, we have become the innovation hub in digital health of our mother company, Bupa. So we bet on a hybrid health model for which it is fundamental to have a platform that will provide our patients the possibility of managing their health wherever they are, and very easily and with 3 clicks. I'm going to give you data. We update the production software twice every hour, so it means that we're capable of modifying our ecosystem with 300 different ways per month. This change rhythm has a meaning, which is that we're obsessed in providing the best experience to our patients. Let me talk about Mi Sanitas app. You probably have it. We have more than 20 integrated health functionalities in the app. The one which is mostly used, the appointment in 3 clicks. We have more than 5,000 appointments a month. One of the favorites of our patients, video consult. We were pioneers in 2006, and last year we already did 900 digital consultations, and we will probably have the record in 2025. But the Blua digital ecosystem includes all the interactions with our sanitary professionals, for instance, in diagnosis. Let me talk to you about dermatology. A patient can take a picture of a problem in his skin, through it to the app, and with AI, the dermatologist will be able to respond online to 3/4 of the interaction of patients. And with the remaining 25%, we will be making more agile to manage the consultation. And if it is very urgent, obviously, we will work on it. This is first-level medicine accessible in digital format. All these experiences are available in our app, but they're naturally integrated in our physical spaces, in the health centers, in our hospitals, and in our nursing homes. We are looking for that experience and integration, and technology as a fundamental ally. And thanks to it, we are capable of tackling projects of high impact. I'm going to give you some examples. We have modernized the health insurance systems. We have 90% of them already done, and we're going for the 100. And we have applied the Innovation Accelerator, and if before we were launching a digital service a year, now we do it every 2 months, and we update the ecosystem every 2 weeks fully. Not all companies are capable of having the healthcare system in-house. We have Air Hospital, and from Air Hospital, we manage the data of our patients, and we channel this information through AI and genomics. AI through Air Hospital is applied in all the healthcare chain. And not only do we have our own technology, we also integrate third-party technologies. Let me talk about the case of Alexa. Alexa is in our nursing homes, and it is going to be shortly in the opening of the Hospital Sanitas Valdebebas. Thanks to Alexa, our patients feel connected with their families, and our doctors are free from certain administrative tasks, or also to provide, for instance, some healthcare data. And we go beyond innovation. Technology provides many other things. It allows us to go beyond, to generate new business models, and to expand our limit. We have recently launched a follow-up obesity service, and something that I'm very happy about. We're going to make accessible mental health in our healthcare centers. We're going to open 30 new mind places. All this in an environment of safety for our patients and for their data. Cybersecurity is the safety belt that we must have put on in any trip, no matter how short it is. So after all, innovation, innovation, and innovation in a safety environment that will allow us to have the best tools for our health professionals so that they deal with what is truly important, namely to take care of our patients. And for all this, Bupa Europa and Latin America is a hub of a digital hub of our mother company, Bupa.
Un, dos, tres,
Wow, I feel good. I knew that I would now. I feel good. I knew that I would now. So good, so good. I got you. Wow, and I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. So nice, so nice. I got you. Hey, when I hold you in my arms, you know that I can do no wrong. Oh, when I hold you in my arms, you know I can do you no harm. And I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel good. I knew that I would now. So good, so good. I got you. Hey, so good, so good. I got you. And I said, so good, so good. I got you. Hey.
¡Qué poco habéis bailado!
Bueno. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you here in this annual meeting that we have to speak about health and future health, and special welcome to my friend here. Our star today, a chef with different Michelin stars, writer. Well, and one of the most important things, the founder of the NGO One Central Kitchen, and you have given the award of the Princess of Asturias Award and the Liberty Award of the US. Jose Andres, it is a great pleasure to have you with us today, this morning. Thank you very much. Some of you will probably wonder why our star guest today is a chef when we're talking about health and future, but we're here also to talk about innovation and to how you have always promoted nutrition, health nutrition. How do you connect these three elements, nutrition, health, and social development? Well, it was Hippocrates who said many centuries ago that may your medicine be your food and may your food be your medicine. If you realize, many of you will probably agree in that I could state that food is the first health system throughout the world. Many of the pathologies and diseases we have nowadays is too much salt, too much grease, too much sugar. Chefs like myself throughout the world have no other option than to be part of what is once, after all, what we're doing is to stop trying to improve bodies that deteriorate and try to start preventing. And the first way of preventing and prevention is good nutrition habits. So cooks like myself will have no other option to have ties with other companies like yours. Well, we see you're leading to create a better world where we all aspire to grow old without having to go to hospital all the time and being able to do the best with our lives. And that is why chefs are in these conversations. Sometimes when I talk to my wife and say, I'm going to speak about health, and she looks to me and she says, you're a little bit fatty, aren't you? But nobody can eat healthier than I do. I eat very healthy. But this is not enough. This extra shrimp, this extra piece of bread, no matter how healthy I eat, obviously makes you put on weight. But good nutrition will help us to have a healthier society, and certainly food is going to be part of that prevention. But you went beyond. Apart from providing good food for people, you also have for yourself the challenge of giving that good food to people who are not so favorable. What led you to do this? Well, in a world where there is a lot of hunger, to cook is the best political action where everybody agrees on. And I'm not talking about hunger in the third world. We know that in developed countries, including ours, there's people who are hungry. Maybe they have different problems than those who live in Haiti, but in the developed world, there's also hunger. And I believe that many of the problems, actually, my father was a nurse, so was my mom, and my mom cooked for my brothers and myself, and my father cooked for the whole hospital. My father said when he didn't know how many people he would be feeding, that the large problems had very simple solutions. If more people come to eat, I will add more rice to the paella. And I have followed my dad's philosophy. I have realized that in order to solve the problem, you have to be there. My company has never been a company that was incorporated to fight against hunger, like companies in Haiti. I actually started working in Haiti 30 years ago, and I have realized that in emergencies there is a fantastic chef here, Pepa. Pepa, where are you? Pepa was and is the leader of World Central Kitchen, where people have realized that it's not only a matter of the daily food plate. People don't want a charity. They want dignity. And how do you provide dignity to people when you are beside them? Obviously, food is necessary, water is necessary, and I believe that the task the World Central Kitchen has been doing in the past years has been beautiful, and we have done impossible things. 1.5 million meals a day in Ukraine, half million in Gaza. So you realize that with food is a way you can convey the message. We're here beside you. You're not going to be alone in these very dark times, and when food becomes the hope of a better world of tomorrow, that is why you have to be there. And our daily meal is our excuse to say to people, don't worry, you're not alone. You will have a better day tomorrow. So yes, to cook, to support this welfare, dignity is also a way of taking care of us. This is one of the reasons why World Central Kitchen is, and this is what you have in your head, isn't it? Yes, I have been here for many years. I was lucky enough to be able to talk to all the presidents who came to Madrid, the NATO presidents, and I spoke to them in 5 minutes, and my message was very clear. Food is a national security thing. I have been telling the presidents of the different countries for years that they must have an expert in food beyond the head of the Ministry of Agriculture. Many problems are caused by food. The way we grew crops, we are damaging rivers and seas because of the pesticides. And I think we must do it better. We can grow crops without polluting. It is a national security issue. What would happen if one day we woke up and the headline in the country would be, Planet Earth does not have enough food to feed humanity? That might happen. I have seen this in first person, where there might be pests, plagues, hurricanes, wars like that of Ukraine, and all of a sudden you have all the large food-producing elements disappearing, and all of a sudden we would have food, but only for 60 days in planet Earth. I don't want to alarm people, but I like to think of the future and to change food into a national security issue would give the security that is needed to have a better society. And do you think technology can help mobilizing the resources? Well, technology is already helping World Central Kitchen. Many people tell me, why are you so quick? Do you know how we operate? During the pandemic, we were giving food to old people in hospitals in India, and we were helping the first cruise in Japan. So technology being where the production centers are, it allows us to adapt ourselves very quickly. And we always say that all that is around us belongs to World Central Kitchen, because I think this is the largest organization in the world. Why? Because every helicopter, every boat, every kitchen, every stadium, every person belongs to World Central Kitchen, but you don't know it yet. That is how we act. Technology has a lot to do. We speak about technology. It is an example that might seem very distant, but 4 or 5 years ago, I could send food to the space station, and this was the first time all the astronauts were eating the same menu. And we sent paella. We started to use small technologies that will allow us make really nice dishes for the astronauts. It was vital because it helps them with their mood. But what we have done in the last 2 years is kitchen. James Sears invented it. It's centrifuge type of food, and we have made meals that will be the ones that astronauts will cook when they will be 3 years away from going to Mars.
And I'm delighted with this because we've got a great example of how technology is not only going to help us to feed humankind when we arrive one day to Mars or the Moon again, or very soon to Jupiter, but obviously technology is essential. People ask me, with so much hunger in the world, why do you spend time and invest effort in ensuring that 6 astronauts eat and when they're going to Jupiter? Well, of course, because we're all betting for technological developments and advance. It's the way that we can actually help to solve the huge problems that we have on Earth, which is precisely one of the messages, or one of the ideas upon which all the work that we're doing at Sanitas is all about. Technology for a purpose. It's not for the sake of technology itself, and also we already did Spanish potato omelette on Spanish TV. And what is it like? Well, a pot of beef is tasting delicious because I cooked it myself. So I don't have anybody to support me. That's why I've got to say that I'm so good. But it's round, you know. It's like round, like little rings. We did chocolate brownies, pasta with chorizo that my mum cooks. It's Spanish food, but it's so good. You don't know that chorizo pasta that my mum made. And we've developed already 26 different dishes. And all of them are going to be circular. They're going to be round. Why? Because of the centrifugal forces that are being applied. Because without centrifuging, the food would float. So you need centrifugation as if it were a washing machine to ensure that the food will become compressed and go to the sides of the pot so that it can be cooked. So that's why in the future they're going to be always cooking in a circular way, in a circular fashion. Okay, we'll take that into account for when we go into space. Thank you. Yes. And I'm going to go after NASA training just to learn, you know, to learn how our astronauts eat. And my wife stared at me when I said that and said, oh, my God. I said, are you absolutely sure about it? Anyway, 15 years of World Central Kitchen, 450,000 meals served in those days in different natural disasters, catastrophes caused by climate, wars. Chile, Poland, Turkey are some of the countries which are represented here. And you've been there. Also with the problems that we've had with the weather in Valencia in October in Spain. So how do you think these things go? Well, we complicate matters a lot, don't we? Is the red tape, how do we say that in Spanish? Bureaucracy? Red tape. Everybody, I think, understands what red tape is. There's so much red tape. There are people who say, yes, it's good. You do things very quickly because you don't need to follow any rules. Well, why don't you do the same thing then, if it's so easy? Come on. So the mission of World Central Kitchen is to feed to the people today. And everybody who belongs to World Central Kitchen knows it and knows that this is our rule, a simple rule. Do whatever you want to do so people can eat today. In Bahamas, 6 helicopters and 2 hydroplanes. A boat with 2 heliports. Why? Well, because we want to be in the pictures. No, because there weren't any airports. That's why. And we needed to feed 14 different islands. How do you do that? Well, you do it with 6 helicopters. What happened? As we really don't feed, what we actually do is create distribution centers, which is basically what Butempa and Sanitas are doing. We're creating the best distribution centers in the midst of chaos. And that's why in Bahamas we could carry out 55 medical evacuations as cooks and chefs, because we had distribution. I came in with food, and if the helicopters returned, because we were the only ones that returned, well, of course, we did 55 medical evacuations. And we also take medicines, but that's not what we sell. That's not what we are. But if there's nobody else who can deliver them, and there's a woman who has an X problem and she cannot be brought away from her country, we'll take medicine. So what we're actually doing is creating distribution systems, which is what we all have to do, distribution of knowledge, distribution of understanding that you have me there and I have you there, and together we can do more if we know how to work together and at the same time. That's why the healthier world that we're all striving for, of course, needs companies with the vision and clarity of Sanitas. But we need much more than that. We need governments that have policies that support us, where they remove red tape and bureaucracy so that the huge problems, like my father used to say, have simple solutions, where schools are the starting point so children can eat healthier and better meals, where we stop trying to make the best of the problems that we have in our body due to the extra beer you have or the extra snack you have, and start investing in becoming healthier. And for this purpose, you need an ecosystem that is distributing the information and the actual solutions with companies like yours, as well as many other companies. So we have to make sure that they all work interconnected and together. Connected, yes, it's clear that the role of companies in all of this ecosystem, in all of these systems of knowledge distribution and aid distribution are important. We're going to conclude, though we're running out of time. It would be wonderful to speak to you for hours, but what does care and to care for oneself mean to you? Well, I had this little note prepared. to talk about this concept. Bad food cannot be taken care of with a pill. You can take 20 pills, I mean. I think is being aware, becoming aware. I believe that the main thing that Sanitas does and can do is increasing awareness. Becoming aware of what you eat, becoming aware of the technology that you have available at hand that can tell you how much you've walked every day, that tells you to look at your phone. But if we have all of these technologies and all of these possibilities, and we can call a doctor without going to the hospital and take a picture of what is wrong, I send the doctor, say, look what I've got. Oh, don't worry, that's not a problem. I don't even have to go to the doctor because there's technology. But you've got to be aware. And you've got to know precisely what you need to do with your body, what decisions you are required to take. Because we always say, well, governments have to be in charge, that society is healthy. Of course, the government has a lot of things to do. But I also have personal responsibility in this. We have to be aware that within each one of us, we has to believe that we have to be healthy as well as make people around us healthier. And telling your friends, when you don't want to do sports, please give me a kick in the butt to make me do that. So instead, we're going to play golf and we're going to walk around and push the golf cart instead of drive. So we've got to be aware of all the possibilities that we have available. And you've also got to remember that for a better world and where food is going to play an extremely important role, we have to have and count upon each other. I meet with friends that are always reminding, leave that glass of wine. And today we're going to go to the gym for half an hour. You've got to be aware of this, that the people that are surrounding you are going to help you. And we should all try to support each other to become better. Thank you. It was a great pleasure, José Andrés. Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, Yolanda and José Andrés. Monica, oh my goodness. It's wonderful to listen to these speakers. Why don't we stand together? Let's stand together and try to make things easy for everybody. Yes, how nice, how interesting. The word to care. It's so important. But you know what this word means? Well, there's a place where they really know extremely well what the word care means in all its meanings. That's the place that we're going to visit right now for the first time. 3 years ago, Sanita announced that its family of hospitals was growing with the construction of their 5th hospital, the 4th one here in Madrid. And today, just 3 years later, the Blua Sanitas Valdebebas hospital is about to open its door to care for all those who need it. And we're all privileged at everybody who's accompanying us by streaming, because we're going to have the opportunity of taking a virtual walk through what will be the headquarters of the Sanitas Digital Hospital with our country science journalist, the brain hunter, Pere Estupiñán. So, Pere, can you tell us a little bit more about this? Can we walk through the corridors of the hospital?
Futuro inmediato de la salud, o lo que es lo mismo, el Hospital Blua Sanitas Valdebebas, que muy pronto abrirá sus puertas al público. Yo soy Pere Estupiñán y hoy he podido recorrerlo en primicia. Acompañadme. Empezamos con los quirófanos, que 2 de ellos son inteligentes. Esta es una sala híbrida de última generación y un quirófano de cirugía robótica. Muy buen ejemplo de cómo estamos entrando en una nueva era en la atención hospitalaria. En este centro, las resonancias magnéticas y PETs incorporan la inteligencia artificial para que los diagnósticos sean mucho más...
¿La pantalla o no?
Las habitaciones...
The digital rooms are no exception. They feature the most advanced domotics, voice assistants like Alexa, everything to make patients feel at home. The hospital provides an integral approach with a mental health unit that integrates psychology and psychiatry, offering 20 inpatient rooms. Its oncology service offers a 360-degree approach that supports the patient throughout the entire process. This is also a pioneering centre in sustainability, both in infrastructure as well as in its green medicine. The hospital extends beyond its walls. Thanks to the Blua digital health ecosystem, you can receive care from home, do physiotherapy online, or maintain constant monitoring through wearables. In reality, this is the medicine of the future, the intelligent, personalized, and preventive medicine. For all of these reasons and many more, they say that this hospital will be the most modern one in Europe. So if you want, in just a second, I'm going to find some doctors to talk with and discover what to elevate the practice of medicine is all about.
Claro que queremos que nos busque a profesionales. Es como ir al futuro.
This is like going into the future, isn't it? Yes, indeed. At Sanitas, I was said that at the digital hospital, we also always have physical and remote treatment to improve patients' experience and to make doctors' activity was even more precise. But what is the medicine like when it's practiced?
Futuro, quiero decir, desde el Hospital Blua Sanitas Valdebebas. ¿Queréis entender por qué decimos que aquí se va a sublimar la práctica de la medicina? Pues venid conmigo. Estoy aquí con Pilar López, jefa del Servicio de Oncología del Hospital Sanitas Blua Valdebebas, y con Carlos Alcouz, jefe del Servicio de Salud Mental, para descubrir cómo todo este despliegue de tecnología de vanguardia, de herramientas digitales y de avances de última generación está concebido específicamente para ponerlo a servicio de los médicos y así sublimar o elevar vuestra labor. ¿No es así, Carlos?
Así es, Pere. La verdad es que si algo distingue a este hospital como infraestructura médica o incluso como concepto es eso. Está diseñado con toda la intención para aprovechar al máximo el potencial de las capacidades de los profesionales que trabajamos en él y ponerlas, por supuesto, a mejorar la vida de los pacientes.
Sublimar la práctica de la medicina es eso, poner todos los medios y todas las herramientas en nuestras manos para que podamos lograr los mejores resultados en todas las fases del proceso, en la prevención, el diagnóstico, el tratamiento y la recuperación.
Mencionas medios y herramientas como la clave de esta sublimación de la medicina. ¿Pero de qué medios y herramientas estamos hablando concretamente?
Pues te pongo un ejemplo que está muy de moda en la actualidad. La inteligencia artificial, por ejemplo, en este hospital y muy especialmente en el servicio de oncología, nos va a ayudar a salvar vidas, porque es lo que conseguimos cuando mejoramos el diagnóstico por imagen, gracias al poder de los datos.
Hablamos también de herramientas como Sania, que nos presta una ayuda inestimable en el día a día a los médicos.
Por ejemplo, en la preconsulta, aportándonos datos muy relevantes de prediagnóstico.
O con eDoctor, una herramienta de prediagnóstico digital en varias especialidades.
Y Sania os ayuda también durante la consulta con el paciente, ¿no?
Sí, y además nos da una asistencia de mucho valor con Sanitask, porque gracias a la inteligencia artificial transcribe las consultas, las resume, saca los puntos más importantes y las incluye en la historia médica del paciente. Todo esto significa más tiempo de calidad para nosotros los médicos a la hora de atender a los pacientes.
Otro ejemplo es SaniResult, que nos ayuda, y también a los pacientes, a entender mejor los resultados de las pruebas médicas.
O One Click Doctor, una aplicación con la que podemos acceder muy rápidamente a todo tipo de información de valor sobre nuestros pacientes.
Con PharmaCheck, por ejemplo, tenemos un copiloto médico a la hora de recetar, gracias a que contiene información personal de nuestros pacientes, como por ejemplo su informe de farmacogenómica.
La lista es abrumadora y cada una de estas herramientas aporta su granito de arena para que este hospital digital sea único en su clase. Pero para acabar con esta reveladora entrevista, ¿cómo crees que cambia el paradigma de los hospitales, muy especialmente en vuestra área, este centro en el que nos encontramos hoy?
Vamos a tratar de dar una asistencia multidisciplinar, moderna, estar a la vanguardia, pero también humana, libre de estigma, y vamos a intentar de luchar contra el desafío de la continuidad asistencial en salud mental.
Sanitas Blua Valdebebas nace como un hospital digital y eso es una diferencia respecto al resto que ha ido adquiriendo la digitalización progresiva. Todos los medios que tenemos disponibles van a favorecer la dedicación de los profesionales, especialmente en oncología, a nuestros pacientes.
Ya lo veis, los médicos son los primeros beneficiados de este nuevo concepto de hospital, porque todos los avances tecnológicos y las herramientas innovadoras se ponen a su servicio para que sigan haciendo su trabajo, pero mejor que nunca.
Muchísimas gracias, Pere.
A million thanks, Pera. Nobody better than you to make us see this hospital than you as a visitor to the hospital Blua Sanitas Valdebebas. And Sanitas is still leading this walk into the future because it focuses on the VTR, medicine that is data-driven.
Basada en datos.
Esto es medicina basada en datos.
Esto también es medicina basada en datos.
Y esto también. Y con un plano de Londres del siglo XIX, también se logró hacer medicina basada en datos.
¿Os suena Jon Snow o Jon Nieve? Antes del héroe de Juego de Tronos ya existió un Jon Nieve real. Hablamos de un médico británico que demostró que con la información correcta se salvan vidas. Dejadme que os lo cuente. Lo que hizo el Dr. Snow fue situar los casos sobre el plano de Londres y de repente, ante sus ojos, asomó de manera evidente un patrón en el que nadie había reparado antes. Todos los casos de cólera se acumulaban alrededor de fuentes de agua en las que la población bebía. Fue así como se dio cuenta de que la causa del brote estaba en el agua contaminada y con ello inventó la medicina basada en datos, tomando decisiones que con el tiempo atajaron el problema. El caso del mapa del cólera es un gran ejemplo de medicina basada en datos. Desde su nacimiento, la medicina siempre se ha basado en datos, pero vivimos un momento de innovación tecnológica que ha permitido aumentar de manera exponencial el volumen de datos disponible para tomar decisiones. Lo saben y muy bien los profesionales que trabajan en nuestro laboratorio de vanguardia, donde se gestionan diariamente miles de muestras de pacientes que a su vez generan cientos de miles de datos sobre ellos.
Y no estaríamos hablando de estos millones de datos si no fuera por la capacidad que hemos desarrollado para recogerlos, procesarlos y ponerlos en tiempo real al servicio de nuestros profesionales médicos. Algo inédito hasta ahora.
En este nuevo escenario, cada uno de nosotros, a través de nuestros dispositivos conectados y nuestras interacciones con el ecosistema sanitario, somos los principales generadores de información valiosa sobre nuestra salud.
Veamos todo lo que somos capaces de hacer con ella y cómo estamos cambiando ya el rumbo en la vida de muchas personas, recogiendo y analizando toda la información de nuestros pacientes, a todos los niveles, en cualquier entorno y en todo momento. Por supuesto, también desde aquí.
Y desde aquí, donde realizamos la secuenciación del genoma que nos está permitiendo prevenir enfermedades y personalizar los tratamientos médicos y farmacológicos. Aquí también los datos están mejorando mi salud. Los dispositivos wearables como este proporcionan información en tiempo real sobre la actividad física, el sueño y otros parámetros de salud, lo que nos permite detectar patrones y ofrecer recomendaciones personalizadas. Yo no dormía muy bien y los datos de sueño de mi reloj revelaron que correr tarde por la noche era lo que estaba perjudicando mi descanso. Por eso, siempre salgo a correr por la mañana.
Los datos son también un pilar clave de nuestro ecosistema de salud digital, Blua. Blua integra numerosas fuentes de datos que alimentan soluciones digitales de salud conectada que han revolucionado el cuidado de la salud. Como Evalúa tus síntomas, un asistente médico virtual que utiliza la inteligencia artificial para hacer un triaje y prediagnóstico online a nuestros pacientes, facilitando una primera valoración y recomendando acudir a consulta del médico, hacer una videoconsulta o acceder directamente a los servicios de urgencia. Blua no solo procesa los datos que generan nuestros pacientes, sino que a la vez es una fuente de datos de gran valor para nuestros médicos. O la monitorización constante de datos vitales en los quirófanos, que permite una toma de decisiones más informada y precisa durante las intervenciones. De hecho, este es un buen lugar para entender nuestra visión de la medicina basada en datos, porque aquí el papel del médico es esencial y hoy es aún más fuerte, porque hemos enriquecido su capacidad para tomar decisiones con el análisis en tiempo real de millones de datos.
Con la medicina basada en datos estamos construyendo un futuro donde la atención médica será cada vez más predictiva, preventiva y personalizada, lo que nos permite adaptarnos a las necesidades únicas de cada individuo.
Un futuro con el que estamos mejorando hoy la vida de nuestros pacientes y sus familias y al mismo tiempo diseñando con ellos su salud del futuro.
Bueno, ya lo hemos visto.
Well, we have seen use of data, artificial intelligence, digital solutions for diagnosis and treatment, smart operating theaters. Sanitas is walking the path of the health of the future to bring us the best care. And as a journalist, I want to say this headline: putting the patients and the professionals in the center. Yes, Monica, a client who is listened to, and then they respond to his or her request, a tailor-made health care for each person. Let's look at it.
En día era mucho dolor, lo que la gente llama dolor del alma, que es un dolor muy difícil de describir, pero era lo que sentía, dolor. Y lo que tenía era la verdadera necesidad de que alguien me ayudara, pero no sabía cómo pedir ayuda.
Me siento totalmente acompañada, además hay distintas herramientas como los podcasts, que los utilizo muchísimo en cualquier momento, lo escucho, me aporta mucha serenidad, mucha tranquilidad y aparte sobre todo pues el sentirte escuchada, comprendida y apoyada.
Para estar comunicado utilizo una gran herramienta que es la aplicación de mayores, la app, con la cual puedo comunicarme con los equipos que atienden a mi madre, que tengo a disposición, y también la medicación que va tomando, lo que se le va quitando y todas las cosas que le pueden afectar en su vida diaria.
He visto una gran evolución en la parte digital de Sanitas en los últimos años, sobre todo. Fui a pedir cita a través, digamos, de la plataforma digital de Sanitas y vi que tenía acceso a la receta y que podía renovar esa receta. Me pareció muy práctico porque ahorré la visita al médico.
Y saber que siempre detrás de la aplicación lo que más tranquilidad me da es saber que hay una persona física, hay un profesional con el que en cualquier momento puedo contactar.
Permite establecer una comunicación directa, solamente de forma oral, dando instrucciones orales y sin necesidad de manipular el dispositivo, con lo cual la comunicación es mucho más sencilla.
Los profesionales son encantadores y me está yendo fenomenal.
Sanitas ha formado parte de mi vida desde que nací y ha estado siempre ahí, siempre he recurrido cuando he tenido pequeñas cosas y grandes cosas.
O sea, mi vida ha cambiado de la noche al día, o sea, no podría decirte exactamente con palabras qué es lo que siento, pero es un cambio radical en la forma de ver la vida, en la forma de entender. Me ha hecho ser mejor persona.
La persona.
The person always at the center. That is a philosophy of a company that is committed to making the future a reality in a healthier way. Very inspiring, yes, but the best person to explain all this to us is a person who's leading all these projects that we have been discussing for almost 2 hours. Yes, absolutely right. We're saying goodbye now. It's been a pleasure to be part of the Sanitas Future Health, the event show. And now it is a time to give the floor to Iñaki Peralta, CEO of Sanitas and Bupa Europe and Latin America. Thank you very much. Spectacular morning. So we're going to start with our thanks, not to forget anyone, to thank all of you who have participated, all of you who have presented the different presentations, and all of you who are part of this factory that make us possible to be here today and put this all on stage, and of course the two Monicas leading us so well throughout the morning. 3 years ago, we decided to talk about everything we did in the environment of digitalization and technologies in a forum like this, because we were aware that we were doing many more things than those the customers used frequently. And the expectations were not as high as what has finally happened. Our expectation was to keep producing, but Sanitas factory has grown and grown and becoming larger and larger and creating capacities and capabilities like the ones we have seen this morning. So Sanitas factory is in a very good shape. It will still be in good shape because it is embedded in Bupa's and Sanitas philosophy, which is to expand the borders of medicine, helping longer and happier lives and building a better world. And for this, nothing better than to keep expanding these new capabilities to have a better world. We have spoken about fantastic places like the Valdebebas hospital that has fantastic technologies, many of them that have been manufactured in our own factory, many of them that come from other continents, because we have taken them from other places to be as novelty as possible. And in a few weeks, if all licenses go as expected, on June 16 we will be opening the doors of this hospital. We have also looked at genomics here. Genomics was a project that was inspired by Bupa, especially my boss Iñaki Reño, who's in the first row for many years. A clear vision of how to put genomics in the improvement of the lifestyle of people, because it is true that in books in science it says that if you discover genome, you will be able to do things for people to have better lives. But to go from the academia to the machines, to someone giving their own blood and then having a plan and make all this operational, make it affordable from a financial standpoint, well, the challenge was not precisely small, but we are already at 16, 17 sequenced samples in 2025, and we're going to work for the 100,000 samples. And for this, we will also have not only our colleagues from UK, but also from Poland. As Cesar, this high percentage of these people that we will be saving their lives. We have also looked at the importance of how technology, if you add data, if you add AI to it, you get a very robust mechanism that makes medicine much more precise and also more specific, more unique. And that is why doctors are more secure when they know that they are much more limited in making mistakes. We have also looked at how Sanitas has its own systems. Why? Because it is so important to have your in-house technology. We want to manage it by ourselves so that we can do it very quickly, to be able to change the moment we consider it necessary. And it's part of our heritage, and as José Luis said, is unique. And why do we do this? Because it is good for the patient. We can help him have a better, long-lasting, and happier life. Not only because we like technology. Technology is a means. We look for the best, but above all, for the patient to be in better hands. Yesterday, these ideas were revolutionaries, were dreams, were things that could be done or could be designed, but we have had the capacity of doing it. And few companies have been able to do it. I insist on this factory of Blua Sanitas, because you need a whole number of actions top to bottom for these to become a reality. And in a group, in a reality, this is already happening, and there is a green corridor to bring any innovations to Bupa Group and put it at the service of our customers. And that is where you will be finding Bupa and Sanitas now and forever. We will be putting all our efforts because it is worth it. Challenges. Of course, there are challenges. Different ways to get to a better medicine. Of course, there are many. We've heard about mental health. Bupa has already reacted to it with the largest bed of 200 mental health centers, 25 of them in Spain. And you will find us there also in the future. For all these challenges, we need professionals, and we're working on it. We have a vocational training school in Madrid and Barcelona. We have a university for health studies in Madrid. And we will go for more, because we know that all of this cannot be done if you don't have the right hands and well trained. And we want to train them from the very beginning, since they are little challenges as the ones we have seen this morning, when a system is in the robust cluster, and you incorporate data, you incorporate AI, you incorporate genome variants, we have to be able to launch a health planifier that will be a co-pilot for each and every one of us, but which will improve our capacity of preventing what should be done, or to predict, or to advise us on our medical actions. And this will come because we have all the pieces in place, and it's only putting all them together. And it will be like the co-pilot that doctors have for decision making. Drugs, the co-pilot that will help us decide how to go to health care centers. And well, after all, what I'm asking you is to dream. All of you who have been here today, this morning, you have the power of capturing opportunities that maybe we don't know right now. All of you here are part of an elite, a worldwide elite in the healthcare environment that can bring to the Bupa group for us to make it bigger. Bigger for what? To reach more people. To reach more people. To provide them access to medicine, and the best access to medicine. And we at Blua Sanitas, we believe it is worth the effort. Everything is hard, but it is worth the effort because much is at stake. A lot is at stake. We have the lives of many people at stake, and we will probably be their only opportunity. If we manage to go ahead, we will be their only opportunity. So I sometimes look at them as if they are putting their hand to us, asking for an opportunity. So I think we can get much, much more, and we will see you in the next Health Future event. Thank you very much.
Seas would rise when it came, but now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, fear the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key, watched the world closed on me. I discover as the castle stays, pillars of salt, pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, Roman cavalry choirs singing. Be my mirror, my soul, my shield, the missionaries in a far-off field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter will call my name, and a name, an honest world, and that was when I ruled the world. It was a wicked wild wind blew down the doors to let me in. Shadow windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate, and I discover that my castle stands upon a pillars of salt, pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, Roman cavalry choirs singing. Be my mirror, my soul.
Muchas gracias, Sanitas.
Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be